The Friday evening light cut through Blake Sterling's corner office like a blade. 29 years old, CEO of Boston's most ruthless law firm, and he'd never heard the word no, not once. His Italian suit fit like armor, his blue eyes sharp enough to dissect any weakness. Anna Hayes stood before his desk, her chestnut hair pulled back, green eyes steady. 1 week on the job? 7 days of proving she was faster, sharper, more efficient than anyone he'd hired before. It's Ms. Hayes. I need you at my apartment Sunday morning. 10 o'clock. I'm organizing my fountain pen collection. The silence stretched. Blake waited for the automatic yes, the obedient nod. I'm sorry, Mr. Sterling. I can't comply with that request. Her voice was calm, professional. Organizing your personal collection is outside my job responsibilities. I have personal plans for the weekend. The air turned to ice. Blake's jaw tightened. No one refused him, ever. Do you understand your position here? This is Sterling and Finch. Commitment and flexibility are minimum requirements. I am fully committed during business hours, Anna replied, her hands steady at her sides. I'll work overtime when the job requires it. But I have a personal life and boundaries that must be respected. I can perform my role perfectly without demands outside my employment contract. Something flickered in Blake's chest, anger, shock, and beneath it, something far more dangerous, curiosity. You can go. Ms. Hayes. His voice dropped to frost. But don't think this is over. Anna nodded once and left. The door clicked shut. Blake stared at the space where she'd stood, his pulse hammering. She'd challenged him, defied him. And for the first time in his carefully controlled life, he didn't know what would happen next. He picked up his phone, jaw set. She would break. They all did eventually. Monday morning arrived with storm clouds gathering over Boston. Anna walked into the office at 7:30, coffee in hand, ready for whatever Blake Sterling would throw at her. She didn't have to wait long. By 8:15, her desk was buried under impossible assignments. Complex litigation files. Impossible deadlines. Contract analyses that would take seasoned lawyers days to complete. Blake appeared in her doorway at noon, his expression unreadable. The Henderson Report. I need it by 5. The Henderson Report is 200 pages of financial analysis. Then you'd better start now. Their eyes locked. Anna saw the challenge burning in his gaze. The test. The punishment for daring to say no. She smiled. Just barely. Consider it done. Blake's expression flickered. Just for a second. Then he turned and walked away. Anna worked through lunch. Through the afternoon, her fingers flew across the keyboard, her mind processing data faster than she'd ever pushed herself. At 4:57, she walked into his office and placed the completed report on his desk. The Henderson analysis. Complete with recommendations. Blake picked it up slowly, flipped through the pages. His eyes widened almost imperceptibly. This is perfect, I know. The words hung between them, electric and dangerous. Blake stood, closing the distance between them in 3 strides. He was tall, imposing, his presence filling the space until Anna could smell his cologne, feel the heat radiating from him. You think you've won something here? Anna held her ground. I don't think this is about winning, Mr. Sterling. I think you're testing me. And I'm passing. His hand reached out, fingers grazing the edge of her sleeve. Not quite touching her skin. What if I don't want you to pass? What if I want you to break? Her breath caught. The air between them crackled with something raw and unnamed.
Ow.
Then you'll be disappointed.
Ow.
Blake's eyes darkened. His hand dropped. We'll see about that. That night, Anna stood in her small apartment, hands shaking as she poured wine she couldn't afford. Her younger brother's tuition bill sat on the counter. She needed this job. But she wouldn't sacrifice herself for it. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Press of work today. But tomorrow will be harder. Sleep well, Ms. Hayes. Anna stared at the message. Blake Sterling had her personal number now. The game had just begun, and neither of them, they knew who would survive it. 3 weeks of warfare. Blake pushed harder. Midnight deadlines. Impossible clients? Projects designed to crush her spirit. But Anna met every challenge with steel in her spine and fire in her eyes. The office buzzed with whispers. Some admired her resilience. Others waited for her inevitable fall. Blake couldn't stop watching her. Through his office window, he observed the way she tucked hair behind her ear when concentrating, the determined set of her jaw, the rare smile she gave the mail clerk who reminded her of her brother. He hated how much he noticed. Hated the way his pulse quickened when she entered a room. Friday night. 11 p.m. The office was empty except for them. Blake found Anna at her desk, eyes red-rimmed, surrounded by legal briefs. "Go home, Ms. Hayes." She didn't look up. "The Morrison case materials need to be ready for Monday." "I said go home, and I'm choosing to finish my work." Blake's control snapped. He crossed to her desk, swept the papers aside. "What are you trying to prove?" Anna stood, fury blazing in her green eyes. "I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm doing my job, which apparently threatens you." "Threatens me?" He laughed, bitter and sharp. "You're my secretary, and stop treating me like a problem you need to solve." The words hit like a fist. Blake stared at her, something cracking open in his chest. When had this stopped being about authority? When had it become about her? "Why won't you just quit?" His voice came out raw. "Why do you keep fighting?" "Because I need this job." Anna's composure finally fractured. "My brother is in college. I have medical bills from when my mother was sick. I can't afford to quit because you have control issues." Silence. Heavy and suffocating. "Your mother? She died 2 years ago, cancer." Anna's hands trembled. "So no, Mr. Sterling, I won't quit because you're uncomfortable that someone finally told you no. I'll do my job perfectly. But I won't let you destroy me in the process." Blake felt something shift. The anger that had driven him for weeks evaporated, replaced by shame he didn't know how to process. Anna, her first name, felt strange on his tongue. "I didn't know. You never asked." She grabbed her coat and walked out, leaving Blake standing alone in the fluorescent light, feeling like the monster everyone whispered he was. The next morning, Blake did something he'd never done before. He went to HR and pulled Anna's file, read about her impeccable references, her academic achievements despite working 2 jobs through college, the gaps in her employment history that lined up with her mother's treatment. He'd been torturing someone who'd already survived hell. Monday morning, Anna arrived to find her desk cleared of the impossible assignments. Instead, a single envelope sat on the polished surface. Inside, a handwritten note on expensive cardstock. What was wrong? "Please give me a chance to explain." "Dinner tonight?" "Not as your boss. Just as someone who wants to apologize properly." Blake, beneath it. A reservation confirmation at the city's most exclusive restaurant. Anna's hands shook. This was a trap. It had to be. Another test. But something in the handwriting, the vulnerability of the request, made her pause. That evening, she found herself standing outside the restaurant in the only cocktail dress she owned. Blake waited by the entrance. No suit jacket, tie loosened. Looking more human than she'd ever seen him. "You came." Relief flooded his face. "I almost didn't. I wouldn't have blamed you." He opened the door. "Thank you." They sat across from each other in the candlelit corner. The menu had no prices. Blake ordered wine that probably cost more than her rent. "Why are you doing this?" Anna asked finally. Blake met her eyes. "Because Friday night you made me see myself, and I didn't like what I saw." "So this is guilt?" "No." He leaned forward. "This is me realizing I've spent 3 weeks trying to break someone who's already stronger than I'll ever be. And somewhere in that time, I stopped wanting to break you. I started wanting to understand you." Anna's breath caught. "Mr. Sterling Blake, please, Blake." The name felt intimate, dangerous. "I can't be your project. Your redemption arc. I'm a person, I know." His hand crossed the table, hovering near hers. Not touching. Asking permission. "That's exactly why I'm here." Anna looked at his hand. Looked at his face, where vulnerability and hope warred with the arrogance she'd come to expect. She placed her hand in his. The contact sent electricity through both of them. Blake's fingers closed gently around hers, and for the first time, Anna saw past the CEO to the man beneath. Lonely, damaged, desperate for something real. "Tell me about your mother," he said softly. And she did. Over wine and a meal she barely tasted, Anna told him about her mother's courage, her brother's dreams, the weight of being the strong one. Blake listened like he'd never listened to anyone before. "My parents died when I was 12, he said finally. "Car accident. My uncle raised me, taught me that emotion was weakness. That control was the only thing that mattered." He looked down at their joined hands. "I've been controlling everything for so long, I forgot how to feel anything. Until you said no." His blue eyes met hers, raw and honest. "And I felt something for the first time in years. Even if it was anger." The air between them shifted, became charged with possibility and danger in equal measure. "This can't happen," Anna whispered. "You're my boss. I know. The firm has policies. I know. People will say I slept my way to the top. I know." Blake's grip tightened. "But Anna, I'm tired of pretending I don't feel this." "Aren't you?" She was. God help her. She was exhausted from fighting the pull between them. Anna leaned across the table. Blake met her halfway. Their lips touched, soft and tentative at first, then deeper. Desperate. Like two people drowning and finding air in each other. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard. "What do we do now?" Anna asked. Blake smiled, real and unguarded. "I have no idea. For once in my life, I don't have a plan." That's terrifying. That's the most honest thing I've ever felt. They left the restaurant hand in hand. Stepping into the Boston night with no idea what came next, Blake's phone buzzed. He glanced at it and his face went white. "What?" Anna asked. He turned the screen toward her. An email from the firm's board of directors, sent to multiple recipients. Investigation opened into CEO Blake. Sterling for inappropriate relationship with subordinate employee, Anna Hayes. Emergency board meeting scheduled Monday 9 a.m. Attached was a photo. Blake and Anna kissing outside the restaurant. Time-stamped 30 minutes ago. Anna's world tilted. How? Blake's jaw set, fury and fear warring in his expression. Someone's been watching us. Who would do this? Blake looked up at the buildings surrounding them, at the darkened windows. Someone was out there. Someone who wanted to destroy them both. "I don't know," he said quietly. "But we're about to find out." The board meeting was an execution dressed as procedure. Anna sat in the cold conference room, facing 12 stone-faced directors, while Blake stood at the head of the table. She'd barely slept. Her professional life was unraveling in real time. To Sterling, began Victoria Cross, the senior board member, her silver hair severe as her expression. "These allegations are serious. Abuse of power. Inappropriate workplace conduct." Blake's voice was steel. "Ms. Hayes and I began a personal relationship outside of work hours. We violated no company policies. You're her direct supervisor. Then I'll step down as her supervisor. Transfer her to another department. That doesn't erase the power imbalance," Victoria continued, "or the appearance of impropriety." Anna's hands clenched under the table. She'd fought so hard to prove herself, only to have it all reduced to scandal. "May I speak?" she asked quietly. Victoria's sharp eyes turned to her. "Please." Anna stood, forcing steadiness into her voice. "I pursued this relationship of my own free will. Blake, Mr. Sterling, never coerced me, never used his position to pressure me. If anything, I'm the one who initiated our first kiss." It was a lie, but she'd learned to play the game. The room murmured. Blake's eyes widened slightly. "That's not he started." "It's true," Anna interrupted, meeting his gaze with warning in hers. "I take full responsibility." Victoria's expression remained skeptical. "Nevertheless, this firm cannot afford scandal. We have 3 options. Mr. Sterling can resign, Ms. Hayes can resign, or you both can resign." The words landed like a death sentence. "I'll resign," Anna said immediately. "No." Blake's voice cracked like thunder. "Absolutely not. If anyone leaves, it's me." "Blake, don't be stupid," Anna hissed. "This is your company, your legacy. You're the only thing that's mattered to me in years." The raw honesty silenced the room. Victoria studied them both with calculating eyes. "There may be another option," she said slowly. "The firm has been considering expanding to the Seattle office. Ms. Hayes, how would you feel about a transfer? Different coast, different supervisor, a promotion to senior legal analyst with a substantial raise." Anna blinked. This was a lifeline and a trap. Seattle was 3,000 miles away. That would solve the impropriety issue, Victoria continued, and give you both time to determine if this relationship is genuine or simply proximity. Blake's face had gone pale. "Victoria, you can't. I can. And I am." Her tone brooked no argument. "Ms. Hayes, you have 24 hours to decide." The meeting ended. Anna walked out on shaking legs. Blake followed her into the empty hallway. "Don't do this," he said, desperation cracking his composure. "Don't let them separate us. It's a promotion, Blake. More money. A fresh start. 3,000 miles away from me." Anna turned to face him, tears burning her eyes. "Maybe that's what we need. We barely know each other. This whole thing has been intense and rushed, and maybe we need perspective." "I don't need perspective. I need you. You need to think clearly, without me complicating your life." "You don't complicate my life. You make it worth living." The words broke something in Anna. She pulled him into an empty conference room and kissed him desperately. Blake responded with equal hunger, pressing her against the wall, his hands tangled in her hair. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard. "Come with me," Anna whispered. "To Seattle. Start over. I can't abandon the firm. It's all I have. You have me, do I?" Blake's eyes searched hers. "Or are you already halfway gone?" Anna didn't have an answer. That night, she sat in her apartment, the Seattle offer letter in front of her. Her brother called to congratulate her. The salary would cover his tuition completely, give her financial security she'd never had. All it would cost was Blake. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Interesting choice ahead of you, Anna, but I wonder if you know the whole truth about your beloved CEO. Ask him about the Henderson merger. Ask him who really got hurt. Some people don't deserve redemption." Anna's blood ran cold. She called Blake immediately. "Who is this?" she demanded when he answered, "Who sent the photos? Who's doing this?" "I don't know. I've had my security team investigating. What's the Henderson merger?" Silence. Long and damning. "Blake, what is the Henderson merger?" "Anna, it's complicated, then uncomplicated. Now." She heard him exhale. 3 years ago, I represented a client in a hostile takeover. Henderson Industries. It was brutal, efficient. We won, and the CEO of Henderson Industries had a breakdown. Lost everything. His company. His reputation. Blake's voice dropped. He killed himself 6 months later. Anna felt the room spin. "You destroyed someone's life. I did my job." That's what lawyers do. That's what you tell yourself. Fury and heartbreak warred in her chest. "Someone died, Blake, and you just moved on." What was I supposed to do? The law is the law. Business is business, and people are just collateral damage. Anna, please. That was who I was, not who I am now. You changed me, did I? Anna's voice broke. Or did you just become better at hiding the monster? That's not fair. Life isn't fair. You taught me that. She hung up, stared at the Seattle offer, at her phone, at the life she'd built from nothing. The next morning, Anna walked into Blake's office. He stood immediately, hope and fear warring on his face. "I'm taking the Seattle position," she said flatly, "Anna, and I'm leaving tomorrow." HR approved an early start date. Blake's face crumbled. "Just like that? After everything? After everything, I realize I don't know who you really are. Maybe I never did. So you're running away. I'm choosing myself. For once, she turned to leave. Blake's voice stopped her. I love you. The words hung in the air, raw and desperate and too late. Anna looked back at him. At the man who'd challenged her, infuriated her, made her feel alive in ways she'd never imagined. I know, she whispered. That's what makes this so hard. She walked out. Didn't look back. That night, Anna packed her apartment in numb silence. Her phone rang. Victoria Cross. It's Ms. Hayes. I thought you should know. We've identified who sent the photos and the email. Anna's heart stopped. Who? Blake Sterling. The words didn't make sense. What? Our IT investigation traced the emails and photos to Mr. Sterling's personal devices. He orchestrated the entire scandal. The board meeting. The Seattle offer. All of it. Anna's legs gave out. She sat hard on her couch. Why would he do that? I don't know. But I thought you deserved to know before you left. Victoria hung up. Anna stared at her phone, betrayal flooding through her like poison. Blake had destroyed her. Set her up. Manufactured the entire crisis. The man she'd started to love was exactly the monster everyone said he was. Taught her phone buzzed again. Blake, I need to explain. Please. Give me one chance. Anna's hands shook as she typed back. There's nothing to explain. You showed me exactly who you are. Goodbye, Blake. She blocked his number. Finished packing. Booked the earliest flight to Seattle. At dawn, she stood in the airport, boarding pass in hand, ready to run from the wreckage of her heart. Anna, wait. She turned. Blake stood 30 feet away, disheveled, desperate, eyes wild. Please, he gasped. Victoria, lead. I didn't send those emails. You have to believe me. Why should I believe anything you say? Because I love you. And someone is trying to destroy us both. Anna looked at the man she'd fallen for. Saw the truth in his eyes. Or maybe just saw what she wanted to see. I can't do this anymore, she whispered. I can't keep fighting. Then don't fight. Come with me. We'll figure this out together. Anna looked at her boarding pass. At Blake. At the impossible choice in front of her. I have 5 minutes before boarding. Then give me 5 minutes. To prove I'm not the man Victoria says I am. Airport PA system announced final. Boarding for Seattle. Anna closed her eyes. Made her choice. Anna stayed. Blake drove them to his apartment in silence, heavy with uncertainty. Rain hammered Boston streets as they climbed the stairs to his penthouse. The city sprawling below them through floor-to-ceiling windows. Show me proof, Anna said, her voice hollow. Prove Victoria led? Blake opened his laptop with shaking hands. Pulled up encrypted files, security logs, metadata analysis his private investigator had compiled overnight. Look, the emails came from a spoofed IP address. Someone cloned my digital signature. His finger traced the screen. Here, the timestamps. I was in a board meeting when those messages were sent. 30 witnesses. Anna studied the data, her legal training kicking through the emotional fog. This could be faked. It's not. Anna, I swear to you, I would never hurt you like that. You hurt the Henderson CEO. You admitted that. Blake's jaw clenched. I did, and I've lived with that guilt every day since. It's why I became so controlling, so ruthless. If I could control everything, I could prevent more damage. He looked at her, eyes raw. Then you came along and made me realize control isn't the same as redemption, and I wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to. If he didn't send the emails, who did? I think I know. Blake pulled up another file. A personnel record. Victoria Cross. She was Henderson's attorney before joining our board. She lost that case because I outmaneuvered her. She's been waiting years for revenge. The pieces clicked together with sickening clarity. Victoria had orchestrated everything. The photos, the emails, the Seattle offer designed to separate them. You have to prove it, Anna said. You will. But first, Blake turned to her. I need to tell you something. About why I pushed you so hard when you first started. Anna waited, her heart hammering. My uncle died 6 months before you arrived. He left me the firm and a letter. Blake's voice cracked. He told me I'd become exactly what he made me. Cold, empty, alone. He said I'd die the same way he did. Surrounded by success and buried without anyone who actually loved me. Tears tracked down his face. Anna had never seen him cry. When you said no to me that first time, it wasn't about the fountain pens. It was about someone finally seeing me as human enough to have boundaries with. Human enough to refuse. He gripped her hands. You treated me like a person, not a god. And I didn't know how to handle it, except to try to break you. Blake, I'm broken, Anna. I don't know if I can be fixed. But you make me want to try. Anna pulled him close, feeling his body shake against hers. The powerful CEO reduced to a scared man desperate for absolution. We're both broken, she whispered. Maybe that's why we fit. They held each other as rain pounded the windows. When they finally pulled apart, something had shifted. The war between them had ended. The real fight was just beginning. How do we prove Victoria did this? Anna asked. Blake's expression hardened. We make her confession. The plan was dangerous and possibly illegal. Blake would confront Victoria privately, wearing a wire. Anna would be nearby with a recording device. If Victoria admitted to the setup, they'd have evidence. If it failed, Blake would lose everything. You don't have to do this, Anna said the night before their planned confrontation. You could just let me go to Seattle. Protect yourself. Blake cupped her face. Protecting myself means nothing if I lose you in the process. They made love that night with desperate intensity. Anna memorized every touch, every breath, knowing tomorrow could end everything. Dawn came too quickly. Blake met Victoria at the office early, before anyone else arrived. Anna waited in the parking garage, listening through the tiny earbud connected to Blake's hidden microphone. Victoria. Thank you for meeting me. Of course, Blake. Though I'm surprised you wanted to talk after Ms. Hayes' departure. Anna's hands clenched. She hadn't departed. Not yet. Actually, I wanted to discuss the Henderson merger. Silence crackled through the connection. That's ancient history. Is it? Because I've been reviewing the timeline. You joined our board 6 months after Henderson's death. You've been positioning yourself to take control of the firm ever since. That's quite an accusation. Not an accusation. An observation. Blake's voice was steady. The leaked photos. The emails. The convenient Seattle offer that would remove Anna from the equation. It's all very elegant. Very you. Victoria laughed, cold and sharp. You always were perceptive. Shame you didn't see this coming. Anna's heart stopped. Blake had her. Why? Blake asked. Henderson was business. This is personal. Henderson was my friend. My mentor. You destroyed him for sport. I destroyed him because I was good at my job. You destroyed him because you're a monster who treats people like chess pieces. Victoria's voice turned to venom. I wanted you to feel what he felt. Loss, betrayal, the destruction of everything you care about. Anna has nothing to do with this.
Anna has everything to do with this.
You actually care about her. That makes her the perfect weapon. Doria paused. And here's the beautiful part. Even if you expose me now, the damage is done. The board will never trust you again. Anna will always wonder if you're using her. I've already won. Through the earbud, Anna heard Blake's breath hitch. You're right, he said quietly. You have won. But I'm not going to fight you anymore. What? I'm resigning. Effective immediately. You can have the firm, the legacy. All of it. Blake's voice strengthened, because I finally understand what matters. And it's not this. Anna's eyes widened. He was sacrificing everything. You're bluffing, Victoria said. I'm not. I'll send my resignation to the board within the hour. You'll be CEO by end of week. Just leave Anna alone. Let her live her life without your revenge poisoning it. Blake, you're not serious. I've never been more serious about anything in my life. Anna yanked out the earbud and ran. She had to stop him. She burst into Blake's office, to find him facing Victoria's resignation letter in his hand. Don't, Anna gasped. Blake, don't do this. Blake turned, shock flashing across his face. Anna, what are you? I got it all on recording. Victoria's confession. We have everything we need. Victoria's face went white, then red. You conniving little save-it, Anna said coldly. She played the recording on her phone. Victoria's voice admitting to orchestration, to using Anna as a weapon to deliberate sabotage. The board will receive this within the hour, Blake said quietly. Along with the evidence of digital forgery and harassment. You're done, Victoria. Victoria looked between them. Then she laughed, bitter and broken. You think you've won? You've proven you're exactly what I said you are. Ruthless, willing to do anything to win. No, Blake said. I've proven I'm willing to do anything to protect someone I love. There's a difference. Victoria grabbed her briefcase and left without another word. The door slammed behind her. Anna and Blake stood in the silence, the weight of what had just happened pressing down on them. You were going to resign? Anna said softly. Give up everything. Not everything. Just the things that don't matter. The firm is your life. The firm is my past. Blake crossed to her, taking her hands. You're my future. If you'll have me. Anna looked at the man who'd tested her, challenged her, broken her, and somehow made her stronger in the process. I'm still going to Seattle, she said. Blake's face fell. For 1 year. To take the position on my own terms. Not because Victoria forced me. Not because I'm running away. Anna squeezed his hands. Because I need to know I can succeed on my own. That I'm not just the woman who fell in love with her boss. And after the year,
if you still want me, come find me. Prove that we're more than intensity and chaos. Blake pulled her close, his forehead resting against hers. I'll be there. I'll wait as long as it takes. You'd better, Anna said, her smile tight with trembling emotion. Because Blake Sterling, you're the most infuriating, complicated, broken man I've ever met. Tears pooled in her eyes, and somehow, I love you anyway. Their kiss in the morning light tasted like both goodbye and promised sweetness wrapped in ache. 2 weeks later, Anna stood in her new Seattle office, watching rain slide down the windows. Her phone buzzed. Blake's text, 349 days. I'm counting everyone. Anna smirked and typed back 348. I'm 1 day ahead. The distance had been created, the sacrifice made. Now came the hardest test, waiting to see if love could survive a year apart. Anna built an entire life in Seattle. Senior analyst, valued colleague, her own apartment overlooking Puget Sound. She'd prevent herself most of all thought she was more than Blake Sterling's secretary. More than her past, more than the chaos she'd left behind. But at night, when the city lights dimmed and the world got quiet, she still counted the days. Blake texted her every morning, never demanding, never pushing, just these simple, steady reminders. Day 87, coffee tastes better when I imagine sharing it with you. Day 156, won a major case today. First person I wanted to call was you. Day 243, learning to cook. It's going badly. You'd laugh. Anna saved every single message. Then, on day 348, nothing, don't text, no call, only silence. Maybe he'd forgotten. Maybe life had moved on without her. Maybe she'd waited for a version of him that no longer existed. Day 349 arrived gray and bitterly cold. Still nothing. Donna forced herself through work like a ghost, her heart heavy and unmoving by evening. She stood at her apartment window watching the city glow to life under the rain. She felt foolish. A year was too long. People changed. Hearts shifted. A knock at her door made her jump. She opened it. Blake stood there, drenched from the rain, breathless, holding a fountain pen. You came, she whispered. Did you think I wouldn't? His blue eyes were warmer than she remembered. Steadier. 349 days. I promised I'd be here. You didn't text. I wanted to say it in person. He held out the pen. This was the first fountain pen I ever bought. I've carried it every day this past year, waiting for the moment I could give it to you. Anna took it with trembling fingers. The engraving made her vision blur. For Ornahu taught me that no can be the beginning of yes. You actually counted, she breathed. Every single day. He stepped closer. I've spent this year becoming someone worthy of you. I sold the firm, started a non-profit for families affected by corporate takeovers. I visit Henderson's grave every month. I'm in therapy. I'm trying, Anna. I'm trying to be the man you believed I could be. Blake, I'm not asking you to come back to Boston. I'll move here. I'll move anywhere. I just need to know, is there still a chance? Did I wait long enough for you to believe in us again? She looked at him, humbled, hopeful, changed. You really did wait. I'd wait another year if you needed me to. Anna crossed the space and kissed him, heartbreak and relief colliding in her chest. I don't need another year, she whispered. I just needed to know you'd show up. I'll always show up for you. They held each other in the doorway as rain fell behind them, two broken people who'd learned how to mend. Now what? Blake asked as they stepped inside. I meant I'll move here. Build a life wherever you are. Anna met his gaze. Actually, maybe Boston isn't such a bad place after all. You'd come back. Not to work for you never again. She smiled softly. But maybe we could be equals. Partners. Build something new. Hope lit his face. Partners. I like that. It won't be easy. People will assume things. Let them assume. I've spent my life caring about what people think. I'm done with that. She brushed a thumb along his jaw. You really have changed. You've changed me. When you said no that first day, you cracked something open in me. It took 349 days to rebuild myself. He kissed her palm. But I did it. For us. For yourself. She corrected gently. That's what makes it real. He nodded. For myself. But you were the reason I wanted to be better. They stood together between her Seattle apartment and the future waiting for them behind her, the life she created alone. Before her, the chance to create a life built together. Come in, she said softly. We have a lot to talk about. And they did. All night, about fears and hopes and boundaries and the messy reality of loving another flawed human being. About the partnership they wanted to build. That's dawn lit the sky in golden rose. Anna curled against him. I'm scared, she whispered. What if we're only good at intensity? What if we're terrible at ordinary? Then we'll learn, Blake murmured, kissing her forehead. We learned how to fight. We can learn how to love. That's shockingly optimistic for you. You made me an optimist. Your fault. Anna laughed soft, light-free, hopeful. 3 months later, they stood inside the office space they'd rented. Sterling Hayes Consulting, dedicated to ethical restructuring everything Blake used to avoid. Think this will work? Anna asked, looking at their names side by side on the wall. I think we'll make it work, Blake said, wrapping his arms around her. We're good at impossible things. Anna leaned into him, remembering the girl she was a year and a half ago, desperate for a job, unwilling to accept disrespect, strong enough to say no. That no changed her life. Do you regret it? Blake asked. Saying no that first day. Not for a second, Anna said. That no led to the most important yes of my life. And what yes was that? He asked softly. Yes, I'll give you a chance. Yes, I'll wait. Yes, I'll love you even when it's hard. She kissed him. Yes to all of it. They stood together in the office they'd built. Two people who'd learned that the hardest battles are the ones fought inside ourselves. That control is an illusion. But choice is real. That saying no to who you're expected to be can lead you straight to the life and the love I want. Anna lifted the fountain pen from her desk, feeling its familiar weight. She opened her journal and wrote, Today I choose him. Today he chooses me. That's a promise that matters. Blake read over her shoulder and added, And tomorrow, we'll choose again, side by side, partners in life and business. They looked out at the future they'd fought to build on choice. One day, one yes at a time. The end.